Namaste, Seema Patil. Welcome to my channel, Digital Wellness. It's my great pleasure that I'm speaking to you. I was researching about Anugraha, and I found a lot of very interesting things that you carry out at Anugraha, and it is so nice to see the response of each one of the participants at Anugraha. I was first of all curious to understand, what was your motivation to start Anugraha, Seema?
Thank you, Sujata, for having me over on your channel. It's I feel good if somebody gets to know about Anugraha and feels that it is useful for the society. Coming back to your question as to what led to the start, or what was the motivation behind starting Anugraha. See, we are me and my husband are parents of a special adorable child. She is I definitely would like to use that word adorable for her. She's a 14-year-old special girl with cerebral palsy. And perhaps those circumstances were the main reason or the motivation behind, starting Anugraha. When she was a small child, we had literally moved from pillar to post in search of a school which would accommodate her. If you really look around, there are few special schools, but then the range of understanding or comprehension or IQ that is there amongst the special schools also, it is very difficult for the school to accommodate every need. And in that journey, when we were look, I always thought that if she can get an inclusive school, so she will get the best of both. She will get the care that is required for a special child, as well as the education that is can be imparted to a normal student. But in that journey, I would say we knocked doors of many inclusive schools, and the worst part was the experience that we had, that we were given appointments and we were made to sit with a special child outside the benches of those offices for hours together, just giving us reason, no, madam is busy, sir is busy, they'll let you in after some time, etc. And towards the fag end of the day, around 4 o'clock, the office boy or somebody used to come and tell us there is no vacancy, or we do not have teachers, or we do not have infrastructure to support. So that really hurt us a lot, in terms of either if I did not have an infrastructure, I would upfront say that ma'am, we cannot support. So that was the pinch that we had. Then back in 2012, we shifted to Pune. We found a school for her, but then I started imagining myself in the shoes of the people running such institutes, because as a parent, it is very easy to say that I want a school for my child and I want these facilities. But then I realized it's okay. As a child, it's okay for teachers to handle smaller children. What happens to them when they grow up? Because needs multiply, sizes multiply, and capacity reduces. So I got an opportunity to join hands with a venture which was just started for around 4 to 5 special adults. And I came in touch with a social worker, Mrs. Madhuri Deshpande, and I asked her, what can I do for you, or can I work with you? And she was like, I have just started, I don't know what I'm going to do with them, or it is not even registered, etc. So the journey began there, and coincidentally I had just completed my master's in business law. So we started a social enterprise, which is called Anugraha Foundation now. So it is not only a therapy center, but it is registered as a company where we train and employ special adults. So that was the beginning of Anugraha back in 2013.
It's very interesting to know that your own need kind of manifested into doing something the larger interest. Yeah. So I'm curious, because you said about you made a very interesting point about what happens when they grow up. So I have two questions. First, what is the age group of people at Anugraha? And interestingly, how plan activities to keep them involved, engage them rather, because they'll have to stay coordinated also. So how do you do that, Seema?
Okay. See, answering your first question, age group at Anugraha is 14 plus. We have not, we are just, an 8-year-old organization, I would say. Perhaps not very mature in our processes, but we are, improving day by day. That is the bigger satisfaction I have. We haven't set up an upper age limit as such, but currently we have up to 52 years of, 52 years old people. And the basic concentration is around 20 to 30 years. So our entry age is 14 plus and up to 52, and majority of them are between 20 to 30. Now, if you look at it, as an employment center, as a training center, as a rehabilitation center, there are multiple, facets to it. So we look at it holistically. It is not only for the individual, but also for the family, because Anugraha should be a second family or a support system for the family, which has a special adult. That has been our objective. Now, when the boy or girl, I would not use the word child because we work with all adults. When our members come in, it is like a typical full day activity for them. It is a 9 to 5 working hours, Monday to Friday for them. And we look at it holistically in terms of their physical well-being, mental well-being, as well as social well-being. So from the physical perspective, we have a good setup of physiotherapy, yoga, and regular sports activities, which actually utilizes all the energy. Because I would say, luckily, all our boys and girls are really quite tall and strong and have a lot of energy. And if that energy doesn't get utilized during the day, it causes sleep problems, it causes diet problems, and all of that result into behavior challenges. So physiotherapy is the core, or the beginning of the day with exercise, because we know all the traffic issues, etc. By the time the member reaches Anugraha, even if he or she has woken up at 6:30, doing their morning routines, and then hopping onto a bus or van, or if the parents drop them, they reach by 9:30. They really don't get time at home to focus on these things. So once they come at Anugraha, we start the morning routine with the prayer and exercise. And after that, it is coupled with occupational therapy as well. What occupational therapy does is actually improves eye-hand coordination. It improves their attention span. Yeah, the ability to sit at a place and work may not be for more than 30 minutes, but 30 minutes is a big span for special adults to be able to work in a particular place. So we have PT, we have OT, and the best part of the day is a midday music session. Because they have a pretty tied up day in the first half, and then lunch, and then post lunch we have a very relaxing music session. What music is, the way it is for normal children, right, or normal people like you and me, it is something I would say 10-20% more for the special adults, because that is something which is very relaxing. What happens typically in terms of challenged adults? Most of them are speech impaired, right? Specifically, the ones that we have, we cater to cerebral palsy, we cater to autism, we cater to mild mental retardation, etc. So some of them are vocal, but very few. I mean, I would say more than 70 to 80% of our members are speech impaired. And in a day-to-day routine, what happens if you see a speech impaired adult, a normal person has a tendency that person cannot hear as well, right? If somebody is not speaking, he gets ignored, and people like you and me will feel that he cannot even listen. But the people who cannot speak, I believe, have better listening skills. That has been my experience. Or in general, our in the corporate life also, we would have seen that people who talk less are better listeners, right? So music, in fact, we would like something that is, tuned to every person's need. But at this point of time, we cannot do that. So we tune in some melodies. Some of our members can, play some instruments, and we have a range of instruments. Not that they play it very scientifically, but they can create a rhythm and they can enjoy the day. So that midday session is a very enthralling session. For even it is relaxing for the staff, because when you work for 8 hours with a special adult or a group of special adults, your energy level also goes down, right? And when you listen to some relaxing music, be it even some bhajans, or be it some instrumental music, or at times we just tune into some good Bollywood music and they dance and sway around and enjoy. And after that, they usually get back to their work, because we are a vocational training center, and we produce a few items which I talk about. So in their daily this thing, we have to keep their mind and body engaged. So the members who are functional, we train them and take their help in manufacturing few products. And again, towards the end of the day, there is a sports session and a snack session, and then they head back home. So I feel because of Anugraha, parents would feel that at least 8 to 9 hours the member is engaged into something.
And from what I was looking at, some of the videos when I researched, music seems to be a binding factor, and that's what also kind of impressed me to look at Anugraha more. One, you clearly said that they just don't care what is the kind of music, but they listen to music. Second, I also wanted to understand, do they behave differently with different music?
In fact, if we do individual sessions, right, at times, I do with my daughter, or at home, or sometimes, if some member is disturbed, so we take him into another room and make him listen to some good music, because we do not want to disturb the entire group, because they are productive into something and only one person is not in a good mood. So we take him into a separate room, make him listen to some music, talk to him, try to calm him or her down. So I have seen that typically anything which has a good rhythm, which has a repetitive pattern, right, and which is soft, actually mellows them down. Good instrumental music, right? Second thing is, we have members who speak different languages, right? So some might be speaking Tamil at home, some might be speaking Malayalam, some speak Marathi, some speak English, Bengali. So we have a mixed crowd, right? And as it is, their cognitive skills are low. And if you try to bombard them with only Hindi music or only English music, most of the times they do not appreciate it that much. But music in general is the core of it is very language neutral. So we go with a lot of instrumental music, right, which actually suits them a lot. And in my experience in 8 years, I've never seen any of the members become not interested in music, or walk away from a music session, or become or show very not so acceptable behaviors during a music session or soon after that. So I proudly feel that it is something which is very therapeutic, right? Having a personalized music therapy for each of my member is a dream, right? It is first of I would have two reasons for it not being there right now. One is availability of a learned music therapist who actually understands music as well as understands special adults, right? And second thing is our affordability. So both these parameters have stopped me from having a personalized music therapy for my members.
Seema, this connects so much between Anugraha and what we are doing at DG Next Health. And that's one of the reasons why we are in conversation with you, because at DigiNext Health we are making personalized music and using music as a therapeutic intervention. And it will be a big event for us, trying to kind of mix these both, especially with the people at Anugraha, and we are definitely looking forward for that, Seema. It would be a real pleasure for us to see the response of how participants at Anugraha will respond
Yeah.
to the therapeutic music that we are,
Yeah.
the journey that we are, embarking at DigiNext Health.
So Jata, it would be really a dream come true if I, get my hands on such an application. I would say.
Absolutely. We're
Yeah.
looking forward, Seema, for that.
Yeah.
One more thing is, while you said about the music being a binding factor for each of your participants, and still curious to know, you have different age groups. Do they bond together?
See, the major this thing, as I said, our concentration is between 20 to 30. Okay, and there are few outliers which are between 14 to 18 and above 30. So the whole aspect of working at Anugraha is age factor is not so much because we look at it more from their abilities and interest perspective. A 15 to 16-year-old boy or girl would also be interested in doing maybe the same work which a 50-year-old special adult would be interested. So it is more on how functional are they with their hands and what is their interest area. Like I typically like to mention about one of our boys. His name is Raj. He is a high functioning autism boy, and we prepare these gift articles, etc. And he's a very process oriented person. Once you show him the process, even if it is a 10-step process, he will never ever forget a single step in it. So, but before we show him the process, we have to ensure that this is the final one that we show it to him. Because once it is set in his mind, and later 10 days down the line, I feel, oh no, we should not have done this step. And then it is difficult to, alter. So it is more on interest and ability. So age factor is I would not say is a very prominent factor, though it is there typically in the teenage, because behavior issues, etc., are more there till 20, 22 years of age. So but then we have to look at workarounds, moods, interests, and ensure that they have a productive thing.
Right. So, one is the age, but you also have different kinds of differently abled people, right?
Yes.
So, how do they manage with each other?
Yeah. See, though they, sit in one room and work, say 5 or 6 of them are sitting in one room and working, social interaction is very, very, very minimal. Most of them are least bothered of who is there next to them. So it is most of them are autistic in our center. Some of them have cerebral palsy, and some of them are slow learners. And we have 3 of them who are with Down syndrome. The boys and girls with Down syndrome are usually soft, very compliant. They'll never complain about their routine. Though they are very slow at their work, they are in their own world. You give them some task and they'll complete it and they'll wait for the next instruction. And whereas some of these high functioning ones, Monday morning when I go there, I have to have in my list what are the tasks that I have to give them so that they're busy throughout the day. Otherwise, because they are high functioning, they do it very fast. And if they are verbal, then they will be very will be very spoken about it, that give me next something to do, give me next something to do. So we have to ensure that for the high functioning ones, we have a lot of tasks aligned, because that is their biggest motivation. And if they're verbal, they keep telling that, yes, I'm going to work and I have to ensure that I complete my task. So that is a challenge that we have. We have challenges on both sides, where a few of them who have to be motivated and pushed even to pick up a small bead and string it. And it could take an hour for them to, pick up 5 beads and put them in a string. Or, if they are making some articles like rakhis or paper gift bags, etc., to paste or to fold, repeated instruction has to be there. Some of them have attention deficit, where they will do one task and would want to walk away from the table. They'll go move around and then again come back, do one small thing, and then, so we have to be flexible with them as well. And so that's the way I said, it's more of, abilities, more than, bucketizing them in terms of what challenges they have. We bucketize them in terms of the interest and abilities. So yes, Raj is a perfect person for doing this. Let him do this. Pratik is good at, maybe pasting things. So let him paste, do the pasting job.
While you mentioned about motivation, because different people have different motivation, but one question that I had, but are they motivated to wake up and come to Anugraha every day?
Yeah. Routine setting is very important for them, right? Once they are set into a routine, they would like to adhere to it anyways. If there is that's the reason why, we give very minimum holidays, because it is so difficult for the parents to tell them, yes, that today is a Thursday, but today is Raksha Bandhan, so Anugraha is closed. There is nothing that they can accept. For them, even if it is Raksha Bandhan, it has to be celebrated at Anugraha, and I have to go there at 9. So it is there fixed in their minds that yes, 9 o'clock, I have to reach there. Yeah. Some of them have challenges in terms of, because doing the morning routines or waking up, some of them are not able to sleep through the night, right? So those members come in a little late, or at times adjust. We have to adjust as per their routine. But on an average, 80 to 90% of them, once the routine is set, they are they look forward to come. And second part is, it's a big motivation for the parents. They feel that the morning 1 hour might be a struggle. Same is with me, with my daughter, right? That morning 1 or 2 hours could be a struggle to get them ready. But then, once they are there, they are also busy doing some activities, and the parents are also relieved, right? Some of them are working, some of them are not. But then, they at least get their own time once the child is at Anugraha.
Right.
So that is the motive. Yeah.
Do you function all the 7 days or 5 days in a week?
6 days.
Okay.
Yeah. And we usually do not give any summer holidays or things like that. It's just a week or two off for the staff to alternate. And but normally, just because of COVID, this has been a long gap for many of them. But otherwise, we function most of the days.
Question, and it's a very personal question, because I've known you being a corporate executive, back in the early 2000s, right? And you've been such a successful women leader. First of all, it is so inspiring for me personally to see you transform. But I had a question. How have you managed this change?
Sujata, on a lighter side of it, maybe the Seema that you have seen in the first decade of 2000, I would say. Maybe jet black hair, high heels, with a dash of makeup, and then talking to customers, right? Yeah. Running an NGO, you would say, is no different than doing any business, right? There is finance, there is HR, there is administration, there is compliances, infrastructure, customers, and my special members, I would say. So challenges are there here as well. Challenges were there in corporate life as well. But the positive side of being a social entrepreneur is the satisfaction that comes back. It gives us pleasure that we are able to generate employment for the less privileged, and provide a rehabilitation and support system for those who really need care at a personal level. So it's at Anugraha we have evolved. See, one thing is how to keep these minds engaged. So we always had to think of, we have to produce something. You know, if you have to make them work, you have to produce something. If you produce something, you have to sell it well as well. So you know that cycle keeps on going. We also work with farmers who actually grow chemical free grains. So we are now procuring the grains from these farmers. So it is a big support to them because we pick it up in bulk, and we do this processing where our special members are involved and employed. And then we take it to the market to sell this produce. And we are also doing a lot of eco-friendly domestic cleaning solutions we are producing. So that is also a very a chemical-free homes that we are promoting to. So if you see a personal transformation right now, as a person, I have become more empathetic. It is always there in every aspect of our dealings when you go out, or irrespective of Anugraha, irrespective of this thing, if you see an elderly person, etc. I think that transforms you more. And second is sustainability. Sustainability is always there in the back of our mind right now. We at home, I have transformed to a phase where any online material that we order, I preserve all the plastics, ensure that it is not discarded or just put it in the trash. We try to reuse and recycle, and I've taught that to our boys as well. We prepare bioenzymes. We collect all vegetable wastes from households and prepare bioenzymes at Anugraha, which is an excellent cleaning solution. So it gives a more chemical free home to many of the families that are attached to Anugraha. And of course, the aspect of ROIs and KPIs are also, there around at Anugraha. Of course, the performance indices are different, but at the same time, I feel the satisfaction index is more.
Shared how you have transformed and how your experiences on the corporate have helped you to do that. And this is really inspiring that how you've adopted to this change and really started making things which is meaningful for a lot of people, many more people, right? One, you have really looked at how you are engaging especially able children, and also it's very very motivating and very nice to note that in engaging them for a right cause. So in case anybody wants to use some of the produce that you do as part of Anugraha, how do they reach out to you, Seema?
They could contact through our website, as well as they could, contact me on my number, and with email ID, we could put it up. So
Right.
they can contact us that way. Yeah.
I will definitely put this as part of the description in my channel. Seema, thank you so much. This is really inspiring to us personally, because at DigiNext Health, we are looking at taking music therapy for a lot of emotional and mental wellness, and hopefully this will be differentiation even at Anugraha. Looking forward for that, Seema. Thank you so much for your time today.
Definitely, Sujata. We'll look forward to hear from you, and I would definitely love to experiment with your application. And
thank you so much.